Okay, so let me explain what I wanted the ending to just be like.
Okay.
Because, like, I had this perfect picture. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be perfect. So it's going to just be like, and then I wanted it to just play, like, exactly like how the episode started, and then just end at a middle point. So it'd be then they're doing, like, a time loop sort of thing. I kind of wanted that. I didn't want it to be like, oh, then something different happens. I wanted it to just like I just had this perfect picture in my head, and I was just so disappointed that they didn't do it exactly how I wanted it to, which sounds very, very conceited now that I'm saying it out loud.
Well, I think it's a bit like me with the true Superman gag. Just it could be there, but it wasn't. But it was nice to have an end gag that was actually an end gag. I think that's probably, maybe one exception, it's probably the best sort of ending to a show we've had so far, because it was an actual
the other
ending.
one you're thinking of the octopus?
No.
I
I'm telling you, that was just too out of nowhere, really, to warrant it, as opposed to this, which was properly tied in with the episode, and it was very clearly set up, and it was something that and you followed through.
Yeah.
It would be nice to know what happens actually next with that, with them trying to get the Eggmobile back.
They'll probably have the Eggmobile back regardless, or Eggman's made a new one.
Well, I doubt it.
Or if we have random continuity that sinks into each other, we'll find out the Eggmobile is actually part of the circus act.
Maybe. But I'd like the idea of just Eggman getting really upset because it was my first one. I've had it since 1991 or something like that. It's getting really emotional that his Eggmobile's gone. But yes. So what was referenced in the pre-show, if you were sticking around for that, was that there was a tweet, wasn't there?
Well, there was a couple. There's
one or two
different tweets.
But the first one being I believe it was the writer of it, correct?
Well, there was each a tweet from each writer. The first one that came out was from Greg something. I just remember the fact that his name is Greg. Yes.
Han.
And he put out a photoshopped cover art for the episode, if you will. That's just Dude, Where's My Car with Orbot and Cubot on it, and the rest of the supporting cast. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, we are in for a treat.
I must say, just seeing that like reference and all that, and seeing how similar the episode run to the actual film, minus like the adult content and all that, it was just truly beautiful. It's not often you see people really push the boundaries, and it really goes to show that episodes like this are really homing in for the older fans by making such obscure references that kids will not understand whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's something that I feel has been lacking in quite a few cartoons today, where they don't have that appeal to adults and kids. And it's really partly why I feel the show is taking off in ratings, and how it's been getting quite a few viewers, and not just kids, but adults as well, is because it's just the way they have the show written. Obviously, they're putting jokes to an emphasis on kids, but they are still considering the fact that adults are going to be watching too, so every now and then they're going to put in a little joke that, appeals to them. But I think the biggest thing that I love about the show is that it's consistent. Like, you might get an occasional episode that's like,
you might get an occasional Go-Go-Ba,
Yeah, but so far,
let's go there.
To be fair, like, we can't really say much else. Many other episodes that were really like that, Just about all the other episodes were good, or at least decent, I think based on what I've heard, like, the Go-Go Buzz one was probably the only bad one people have been saying about.
Except Buster, because everyone disliked Buster, and then when the Go-Go Buzz came out, everyone was like, "Oh, actually, now we think about it, Buster was actually pretty good in comparison."
Well, but as we said, it was as we said at the time, it was the weakest of a very strong bunch.
Yeah, like it wasn't necessarily that it was bad; it was just that it was weak compared to the others. Like,
but
and
fear not, Buster. Fear not, Buster, because last week's episode came along, and we're not going to talk about you as much anymore.
I still want to see Buster like return in the background at
No.
some points.
No.
Oh come on!
like
No, I must overrule you, Tom, and prevent that from happening any time ever again in the space-time
But
continuum.
Kevin, hear my theory out.
No!
This one. We need
You're
a
not allowed to
TV
have
show
one,
that's
Tom.
like- What do you mean?
No.
I mean, I'm saying this in the sense of like when you done your David Attenborough voice of, and now we see the Go-Go's.
that never happened.
That kind of. In the post show, it did.
Remember, Tom,
never
there's no
happened.
continuity.
There's no continuity,
In the
Tom.
podcast, there's a continuity.
No, the
I
podcast
overruled
doesn't have
non-
continuity either.
How could
overruled
we
this
have
non-continuity.
continuity, Tom, if the show itself doesn't have continuity?
Because I'm Knuckles, I defy these physics.
Actually,
Well, see,
speaking of Knuckles, it was kind of funny that we had the Knuckles doing the Superman thing, because Travis Willingham, who does the voice of Knuckles, has also been the voice of Superman.
Oh, for
And
what?
I remember your
In the-
comment to us about the tweet that was made about Knuckles
Yes,
as well.
There's the other tweet was Alan Denton's tweet, which one of you will now explain, because I'm not going to comment on it.
Basically, what happened was he posted a picture of Knuckles from the OVA, or the Sonic the movie, if depending on where you live region-wise, with him wearing his glasses and hat. And the comment basically saying, do you remember that infinite jump glitch that everyone was complaining about in Rise of Lyric? Well, suck it up, because we've just made that canon. Wink.
which was something that I wasn't prepared for.
I don't think... But
the thing for me is, I think some people actually took that literally.
Some people have done, yes.
Oh, Sonic fans, you're so crazy.
And the reason why I say that in particular is because one of the writers that wrote the episode, confirmed that the episode, I think it was on Twitter too, where I read this. They said that the episode was actually completed, like writing wise, back in, I think it was April of 2013. So it's been, I think it was almost 2 years ago that they had that Knuckles story written down. Yeah. And this was long before Rise of Lyric was even, I think it was still in the brainstorming
Rise
stage
of Lyric
at that
came out
time.
in the end of 2014 or something. How is this? There's some continuity here as well. Some paradoxes in the making.
No, they
Well, it's
been
funny
writing for ages. I thought they'd confirm.
Well,
Yeah, right here. It says, this was actually Alan Denton himself. He said, sorry to burst your bubble, but this episode was written in July of 2013.
I was off by a few months.
It's just one of those things, but it's not... The Sonic fan base is such that it's not the best thing to infer that something is in response to something which people have a big, distaste for.
Are you speaking in experience, Kevin?
Oh, God. The amount of...
Let's not even go into them realms.
I've seen things, I've seen them with my eyes.
if there's one thing I've learned about certain Sonic fans, is that never ever try to be funny.
No, never.
Because
Don't
Sonic
even
show
try.
obviously does well.
Humor,
Usually, I think that if you're a Sonic fan, usually the best thing you shouldn't do is to get yourself thrown in prison for silly reasons.
Well, wait. Well,
Also, the thing
to
you
be
shouldn't...
fair, that just reminds me of the frickin'... We put up that video of Mike Pollock doing all about that bass, and we got the comments saying like, we seriously advise you take down this video because Sega will come after you. And I know it's a joke, you said it's a joke, but Sega will seriously come after you. And I feel fear for your channel, and I don't want you to go away. Sega will come after you. And we're just dying laughing. We're just like...
I think we even don't confirm it. Well, yeah, someone's going to have to confirm me on this. But even Mike Pollock, everyone was saying like, "Oh, Mike Pollock's going to take offence to this," and we was like,
Mike was okay.
Mike Pollock has already seen this.
I mean, compared to what goes on his Facebook page, that's, we're pretty good.
he finds out just about everything through his Facebook page because all his fans tell him.
Everyone has his Facebook page. He's a lovely guy.
I wasn't even like he didn't even find out about the Sonic shorts through any of the Sonic Paradox crew. He found out by one of his fans.
Mike is very well connected indeed. And obviously, we hear a lot of stuff from Roger, who voices like. We'd like to hear a bit more actually from some of the other guys out there, some of the other voice actors. We'd love to hear from you. Actually, as I mentioned, Roger, would you like my Roger Craig Smith story?
Go ahead.
Go on him.
Right.
Oh,
This goes back. I don't know if I've told this before or not about me contacting Roger prior to his announcement of Sonic.
Oh.
This is going a way back.
Okay, so as you may know, way back when I did Sega stuff, and I had some kind of job back in those days. We had coming up the announcement of the new voices, and then there was an incident on one of the radio shows. I can't remember if it was mine or if it was on the Sonic Hour on Radio Sega, not Radio Sega, Sega Sonic Radio. And somebody said, "What news have you got coming up? Is there anything big coming up news-wise coming up on the Sonic blog or anything?" And I said, I said, "Oh yeah, loads. Oh, is it big?" And I very obviously sarcastically said, "Oh yeah, it's franchise changing, totally, yeah." like that. Next day, I come in and find out emblazoned on the Sonic Stadium's Facebook page, "Franchise changing news coming soon." Like it was somehow like seriously saying. And it wasn't going to be like really big news, but they'd gone through the entire process, which for choosing the then new voices, which was quite a weird thing because I was involved in it. When people asking all these things about it, is this the most appropriate voice? And it was strange stuff. But it came to the point where it was the announcement, and I basically I knew I'd spoken to Mike, and I'd said, well, great stuff that you're still the voice actor. You had my vote, etc., etc. I'm just sort of courtesy message. We're doing the announcement then. Brilliant, no problem. I messaged Tails' voice actor, whose her name escapes me. I do apologise, but
City escapes you, does it?
Yeah, it's quite possibly. And there wasn't. There's not even a rainbow for me to follow. That's how much it's escaped me. I sent her an email, sort of introducing myself. Sort of, hey, welcome to this is the fan base, and I said, I basically gave like a checklist of stuff that you might get asked now that you're a part of this now. Yeah, exactly. You're a part of this now. You will get people asking you really weird stuff, and sort of I basically gave like a cheat sheet of stuff, like stuff to avoid, topics to avoid, and stuff like that. Because I was basically, as the community manager, I was looking after them as now part of this community. And Sega thought this was a very nice idea, so I did that. And then I sent a similar email to Roger, and I said, hi Roger, congratulations. I'm Kevin. I'm this, and this is my role. We're doing the announcement at this point in time, just so you know. There's going to be a blog going up here. There's going to be announcements here. So just prepare yourself, because there's going to be suddenly a lot of questions. You might get asked about lines. You might get asked about previous voice actors. That might be. You have no idea of this sort of this tsunami of fans that's going to come your way.
Oh no.
So what happened then was that so I'm emailing from my Sega email address, and everything's fine, and I can't remember if I get like a little like acknowledgement email from Roger or not. I can't remember, but what I do know is that after that there was suddenly a very hasty email involving his agent and Sega Legal going, "Who is this guy? How does he know?"
Oh god.
Oh no! It was something mass pay. How does he know he's gonna blow everything? And it's like, no, he's the guy that's actually doing the announcement. Rog, no. It just all of a sudden, it's like Lee just coming up to me and just like, we've got this email from somebody called Roger Craig Smith who's apparently voicing Sonic, and everyone's panicking, and it's like, oh god, okay, well I'm not doing that again. I'll just announce it next time. But that's my Roger Craig Smith story anyway, and how I scared the bejesus out of him by actually informing him that I knew about him being the voice actor for Sonic. Oh dear. Anyway, although speaking of voice actors, you should have heard some of the other voice actors at that time that auditioned for the characters. They were so weird.
No, interesting would be the best word.
No, weird.
Oh. Okay.
No, they weren't interesting. They were actually weird.
To be fair,
properly weird.
Doesn't that sum up Sonic audition reels for voices as a whole? Like,
No,
not just for official roles, but for fan roles.
It was, yeah. I mean, but it was very clear at the time, like, who had actually done a little bit of research into the character and what they sound like as opposed to just reading the script. There was like other voices there that, there was a couple of Sonics who were like just like, whoa. It's like,
I swear to God, if there was an audition where someone actually used my Rouge voice, I don't even know why, but
well, I'll tell you what, people who complain that Roger sounds too old. There were a couple who were like, "Hi, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, gotta go fast.
Gotta go. I've got to. Oh, Sonic, I've got to go fast."
Okay,
British.
so I guess we
Playing
should go back to
What
the
could be a
actual
chili dog?
episode at hand.
After,
Just want to bring up, did you guys see Mustacheless Eggman in this episode? I put up a picture in the chat. It's mildly terrifying.
Oh, what is this? Of the
Of the board.
Oh, the cutout.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cutout.
It's actually pretty disturbing if you look at it
Yeah.
long.
It doesn't look human without a mustache.
Haven't we
No.
seen him without a mustache before in something? Or one of the games inferred that his mustache was fake.
Well, at the end of Sonic Lost World, he lost half of it.
I'm googling Mustacheless Eggman. This is a very risky search.
this
Gotta go
this what am I looking at? What is this? I don't even.
Okay, do not Google Mustacheless Eggman. You get very, very weird stuff.
Welcome to the
It
Sonic
could be
fan
worse.
base, Tanner.
No, like they're not even related to
Do
him.
one of the lessons you learn about being the Sonic fan base is do not Google anything Sonic
Never
related.
Hey, are you a fan? Do you want to look up something? Don't. Basically,
Let's put it this
just
way.
don't.
Look, what I just looked up in Google, I spelled bald wrong, so I put Blad Eggman,
Oh God.
and then instantly Google said, do you mean Black Eggman? I was like, oh god. So I click it, and they've just shown Mecha Robotnik from the OVA. It's like, oh no.
Can I just say that a crab meat in a party hat is the most adorable thing?
You and I have
think-
very different definitions of adorable.
I think it's more adorable. He tries to reach up, and he can only get
Yeah,
so
he
far.
just
It's like,
can't.
oh.
He physically can't reach up any higher. Oh.
Also, apparently, in relation to the tweet earlier, about from that Alan tweeted, apparently
Are we on a first name basis now?
we are now.
Mr. Denton, please.
I'm sure you guys. I'm sure you guys have. I'm sure you guys have seen the video where someone actually edited the Knuckles bit at the end where he flies into
Yes.
space.
Wait,
Yeah,
what is this? I haven't seen this.
I linked it. I linked it on the in the Sonic Show
Oh.
Facebook group, but
Somebody's put like an actual Rise of Lyric version of that scene.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
editing the
I'll watch
pause,
this
like
after.
editing the pause and all that. It's only 19 seconds, so it's
Oh
very
my
very
god,
quick.
that is so good.
Sorry, I have to laugh to this. I looked up I went up, like, correcting myself and put in bald Eggman. I scrolled down a little bit, and there's a picture of one of the guys from Mythbusters, and the caption, like, it's listed under is 500 PX Dr. Eggman Adult JPG.
Okay.
I get amused too easily.
I like the balloons in the background, by the way, because there is clearly like Cubot and Orbot head balloons in that sequence as well as Cubot.
Oh, yes.
As well as Cubot and Orbot head like paper decorations as well.
Oh, I'll tell you something. I've just noticed one of those balloons at the start. Is that an Asteron balloon?
You know, I think that the star it appears to be.
Because it does have the silver tips, which you just don't normally see.
The silver tits, what?
Tips. Pa, pa, pa.
Get your mind out wherever it is.
Internet.
God knows
Okay,
where.
so wait. Going back to that picture that we're all looking at right now.
Yeah.
You see at the very top, there's like the string with the Orbot and the Cubot things. What is that one in the middle?
I
The one that
don't know.
looks like a crab, but not.
Well, I'm just watching the thing again, so I'll tell you what I can see.
There's the one on the right, which appears to be a buzz bomber.
Yes.
So yeah,
You've got
okay,
Buzz Bombers, Orbot, Crab Meat, Cubot.
I have a question for any of the staff watching.
if you still
I
are.
actually seriously want to know if you're seriously still watching.
still
Thank you.
are.
But what is allowed in terms of using classic sprites? Like, for instance, you know what? Like, is it allowed to use, say, like for those doilies at the top or whatever, like the classic sprite? I'm just wondering, is that allowed or not? Because I see, like, in the Archie comics, you sometimes see the classic sprites, but that's something I want to know. Thank you for taking my question. If you
Not gonna lie,
Well, why did it-
kinda
wait,
lost me
did-
halfway.
Are you implying that they stole your question, Tanner?
No, I mean, what?
Yes.
You know they're not going to give you. You know they're not going to give it back to you, right?
Guys, looking at the balloons just before you get a zoom in on the pin, the mustache on the Eggman, that is actually that color scheme on the balloon on one of the balloons is actually what like the Bad Nick from Metropolis Zone.
That's
Yeah, the
Asteron that we were
Asteron.
talking
That's the
about.
one.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name. I was like, yeah, that definitely. That's basically a tiny thing.
Can we
Hang on a
put?
second. Is another one of those balloons a bomb? I'm just looking at this thing just below the star one. It looks like
Is
a
it the grey and
a
orange,
floating-
grey with like a red hexagon or something? Yeah.
yeah. Is that a
Yeah.
bomb?
I have no idea. It's
And then the one below that looks like just a mechanical boomerang.
Oh, I thought that was one of the jelly beans from Sweet Mountain in colors. Like, you know, the rockets have the jelly beans in them.
I think we've come to the conclusion that we've completely run out of stuff to talk to when we go down to analysing the balloons in the background.
This
of
is
a 5 second
John,
shot.
this is important scientific analysis of whether or not a balloon looks like a jelly bean. Okay, this is vital stuff to the fan base.
I'm sure that all the fans will be so glad we took the time to do this research.
Yeah.
Can I just
Speaking-
say, just going back to the banner thing, can Sega officially make a licensed banner so we can actually buy this stuff? I would happily have a birthday with them banners hanging from the ceiling.
Speaking of like these little subliminal things that we've been seeing in the background, like I just linked to a image that someone on the SSMB linked to on the Sonic CM message boards. They took a screenshot of about a minute into the episode, a little over a minute, and they actually showed like a knickknack Eggman has, like an ornament.
Yeah, it's next to the photo because I said
Yeah.
this last week about what is that. There's like a lamp thing which looks a little bit like Eggman himself, but then there's like a photo frame.
That's a Pisanka.
What?
Bless
A
you.
Pisanka.
People are saying that it looks very similar to classic Eggman.
No, that's just a Pisanka.
What's a pasonka? I've never.
It is a Ukrainian Easter egg. I know. I've made them before. It's a Pisanka. It's a
You mean the Russian
classical.
things?
No. You're thinking of Matryoshka or whatever. The stacking dolls is what you're thinking of. No, a Pisanka is basically an egg that you decorate and then put
Yeah,
into
that's what I
the
was
little
talking about,
cup.
the ceramic eggs that you can get in Russia. Well, people relate to from Russia.
Oh, no. I'm talking about. Let me Google it. Pisonka, please tell me I spelt that right, because otherwise I'm gonna get weird stuff. Yeah, here we go.
Unless you put Prosecco.
Tanner, when do you
Tanner has
not
typed
get...
Prosecco.
If you think
Wait, do you not-
if you think googling Sonic stuff is dangerous, try googling Pisonka. Seriously, it's.
Is there ever a point, Tanner, where you're not concerned about finding weird stuff? Is there ever that time?
What's weird about a classical Ukrainian tradition?
This is the internet.
This is the internet.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
The funny thing is, Tony, the link that you sent us of the image, basically they're saying you can buy framed prints of that screenshot just underneath the thing. Would you like a metal print? Save 50% off with Save 50! Originally priced at $21.99.
Well, I'd still like to know what is in that photo. I'm assuming it's a photo of Eggman, but it's been very difficult to see for the last 2 episodes.
It looks like just a close-up of him in a chair, just like, this is me being a boss.
It just looks like him in a circular chair, or it's a hula hoop, a white hula hoop that he's holding vertically.
I love how Kevin and I just both said this is the internet at almost the exact same time. we both just have too much experience
Can we by the way, to Sega, this is they'll never listen to this, but Sonic Boom or Summer of Sonic or Next Western Supersonic or anything, can we please have Pin the mustache on Eggman? Can we please get this?
I'll arrange that as a new event for Western Supersonic next year.
Yeah, can we get this and have this as a thing? Because I just think it would just be great. Also,
well, guys,
yeah, sorry, Tony.
I was gonna say, like, just based on what John just said. Well, guys, the Western Supersonic 2016 announcements have begun. I hope you guys are excited. The countdown is on. We have a whole 12 months in store.
Yeah, good luck, Donnie. You need to start commentating now.
Yeah.
Start the live stream. Start the live stream.
Hey guys, welcome to the Western Supersonic 2016 commentary.
1 year in advance, we're going to do a day-by-day review of what's going to be happening. Any news that comes out, we will let you know as soon as possible. Stay tuned for more details.
Yep.
Ah, joy of joys.
So the new Sonic game was a doozy. Yeah, that's gonna be a different story on its own.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're about done here.
I think
we
probably are, really. I mean, we've talked about balloons for goodness knows how long.
Only 5 minutes. Then we went on to Plasenkos or Pachinkos or whatever.
Oh God.
Well, to be fair, Sega Sammy is pretty big on pachinko machines, so I wouldn't put it past any.
Actually, there's one thing I really actually want to bring up now that I really want to see in another episode in the future,
machine.
and I think John would actually like to hear this.
Go on.
I really want there, in one of these episodes, there to be an arcade with a pinball machine in it. Just an episode where we briefly see an arcade on the island. Or just something relevant, like a day out. Just like Sonic's Day Off or something.
I'd love a theme park.
It better be a comedy chimp themed pinball machine.
Did I hear pinball? Did I?
No. Don't worry. Donnie, don't worry.
Donnie,
what you actually heard was Mean Bean Machine.
Yes.
That's not much better.
I know it's not. I know it's not. Oh, dear. So what episode is next week?
Cowbot.
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 Basically,
It's Buster all over again.
No, what happened is Eggman built a machine. He asked for Tails' help in fixing it up. He does so, but it goes berserk, and he's got to protect Eggman.
Wait, isn't that the first episode?
No, that's Cowbot.
No, I'm pretty sure that's also the first episode.
No, because
Good news. Good news. You liked that plot so much. Here it comes again.
Well, wait, no. The other time it was Tails going to Eggman. Now it's Eggman going to Tails. Completely different. We're safe.
Well, let me put it this way: we're gonna get Eggman. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Sonic in there.
In Sonic Boom, you don't say.
Well, to be fair, we did have. To be fair, Sonic barely appeared in this episode, so.
That's true.
To be fair, everyone barely appeared in this episode, except for Orbot and Cubot.
No, Amy had a good bit of attention in this episode.
Appeared.
Which I'm.
Okay.
She
Yeah,
doesn't speak. but she
I noticed that
is.
too. We haven't really seen much of Styx lately.
I think it's because like we discussed ages ago in like previous episodes, the whole like European / American / other outside of France, our whole schedule for each character having specific episodes has kind of been thrown all over the place. So we're going to get all of one character's episodes in a bundle, and then all the others later on. Where France has kind of got mix and match. Like everyone's got at least one episode in a system, and then refresh and start again.
To be fair, though, that does bring up another good point that this episode the series has been doing well. They only put in a character when it's relevant to the plot. Like you have, like Styx only hasn't shown up in a while, like in the North American airings, but she shows up in this episode rather nicely because, well, she shows up briefly, just enough to be a part of a joke in Knuckles' little story. You know,
we're still going to get the episode introducing Styx. Just you wait.
No,
it
we're
will be
not.
the
There's
season finale.
I told you before, the season finale is going to be, oh yeah, how did we get Styx? What we had with Knuckles and Knuckles' version of events is exactly what needs to happen with that episode with Styx, in that everybody has their own version of how Styx ended up as like their friend and in their sort of team, and nobody quite remembers.
Are we going to have Styx's interpretation as well?
Yeah, that would be the last. That would be the last one,
happened.
and that they have to abide by whatever Styx says, because that in the end she's got to. She's the sort of the casting vote, and her version is the most ridiculous of them all. That's it's got to be like that. Anyway, so speaking of episodes, we won't get this writing team again until we see the Curse of the Buddy Buddy Temple.
Darn it, because I like this. I like this group of people. Definitely.
I was going to say, why do I get the feeling we've already seen the Buddy Buddies in this series so far?
Hey,
well,
they
do have a habit of foreshadowing episodes, so
we're going to find out it's those weasels, the Buddy Buddies and the Gogobas.
Oh God.
I'm just glad that after last week was, the way it was, that the episode, to have this be such a rebound just further emphasizes that the show is remaining consistent. The quality is up there, and they're keeping things going. And I'm glad about that. It makes me keep wanting to watch. And it's something that it's something that I don't feel like Sonic X did right, was that they weren't consistent at all. Like sometimes you had episodes
Sonic
that
X, let's be fair.
Well, I know, but like Sonic X would have episodes where it was just so much action and very, very little humor.
The thing is, Sonic X basically took Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2's Bloodline to cover up maybe a season or two, and then had filler most of it. The entire ending season with Cosmo just felt nothing but filler. Everyone's just like, eh.
Yeah, that's another point. It's like compared to Sonic X, Sonic Boom, like I said, doesn't really do that. Where they just stick characters in for filler. Here, not so much. So.
Anyway, we're certainly enjoying everything so far. All in all, a very good episode. Always nice when we see Orbot and Cubot.
For sure.
It was basically what you wanted, Kevin, in a nutshell. After you, what episode was it? Like episode 3 or 4 that you said you want an episode dedicated to Orbot and Cubot?
Yeah, I think it was kind of agreed that they needed their own one, because they kind of deserve their own one just because of the interaction. A Cubot, just rebellious Cubot, was wonderful, and being able to do it. Also, for some reason, him wanting his lists of wants in having his own chat show, long blonde hair, and taste buds. What's going on? Anyway, but never mind that.
Lost World reference, maybe.
Maybe it's whatever the case. It's time for us to go and be on our way, because you've lingered here too long. It's almost next week.
Yeah.
Continuity. Who needs it?
Who knows? Tune in next week where Jono will be given a task of building a treehouse, where Donnie will be trying to rewire some sort of plug socket, Well, Tanner will be on the beach working out. Tom will have broken his shoelaces and can't get replacements anywhere. And I will be desperately trying to get the batteries out of the back of some sort of radio. Well, it's
What the hell just happened here?
well.
Sounds like a typical Sunday.
Yeah,
I smell a spin-off.
Well, that's the point. We've now confirmed that the shows aren't in continuity, so I think that's the best way of just like.
Yeah, we confirm
next
this
week's
ourselves.
commentary will have nothing to do with this week's commentary because we'll all be doing really weird things.
Next week we'll find out Tanner's character comes back into the show.
Oh my god, I would cry.
Next week we're actually replacing Tanner with Tanner's character.
Tanny.
So tune in for that. Like, comment, subscribe. Bye.
I hope.
Bye.
Bye.
Kay thinks bye.